Are you a woman standing at a crossroads, eager for change? It's time to connect with your authentic and empowered self at Boss Leap. Join Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker in this empowering community where real-life stories of courageous and talented women inspire and motivate. Engage in honest conversations that foster well-being, drawing from our own journeys. Let us guide you toward profound growth and transformation in both your personal and professional life. Here are your hosts, Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker.
Welcome back to Boss Leap. I'm Dr. Angela Walker and here with my amazing co-host, Dr. Sylvia Morris. Today's guest is a true powerhouse, an entrepreneur, advocate, and proud mother whose journey blends purpose, creativity, and impact. She's a two-time Emmy Award-winning producer who worked alongside Oprah at Harpo Studios, on The View, and Tamron Hall, along the way learning invaluable lessons about leadership and storytelling. And more recently, she launched shopredbag this past Juneteenth, celebrating culture and community in a bold new way. She's a visionary who knows how to turn ideas into movements, and we cannot wait for you to hear our story. One of the themes that she brought up throughout her career is intention. And so we wanted to just take a moment to say, basically what intention means to us, or talk about what intention means to us. And Sylvia, I'll let you tell us what you think.
So, Angela, thank you for bringing top of mind intentionality. Candi Carter talked about what is your intention? And that is probably a guiding principle for me because it's sort of like, well, why am I doing what I'm doing? What's the intention? What's the goal? And sometimes it's like, oh, well, I'm not sure why I'm doing this, or this is what I'm supposed to do.
To be doing, right.
Exactly. But if we pull back all the layers and we get to why am I doing this and why is it important? And one of my core values is service. So if I am being intentional about everything that I'm doing, am I being in service to myself, my family, my community, my girls, my patients? So my intention is always to be in service and then also to be authentic to myself. What does intentionality mean to you?
Yeah, that was beautiful. I think similar for me, intention is about choosing how I show up. As a physician, as a coach, and a woman walking through life with purpose. It's not just about what I do, but the why, as you mentioned, behind it. And always reminding myself of the why. Intention reminds me to align my energy, my time, my words with what truly matters, and helping women step into their healthiest, most fulfilled lives. And so when I live and lead with intention, every action is hopefully becoming a bigger part of my story of hopefully impact and meaning. So I love the word intention because just by saying it makes you stop and ponder and think, okay, what is the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing right now? And was there thought behind it, or is it just, as you said, what I was supposed to be doing, or what somebody defined as what I'm supposed to be doing? So we can't.
Angela,
yeah.
You made me think of something.
Okay.
I love the phrase intention of thought, word, and deed. Are all those things in alignment? So we're intentional. You talked about your words. Are thoughts intentional? Are we doing the things that we say we want to do, or doing the things that we believe in our heart of hearts that we want to do? So intention of thought, word, and deed.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding.
Yeah. And I guess we can thank Oprah for that as well, because it sounds like the whole theme and the thought. And I do, obviously there's so many things that we could go on and say, but do attribute people being intentional in our lives around us, that actually it spreads to others. And without further ado, we'd like to welcome Candi Carter.
Welcome back to Boss Sleep. My name is Dr. Sylvia Morris, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Angela Walker. And today we have an exciting conversation with Candi Carter. Candi, welcome to Boss Sleep.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with both of you.
Excited.
So excited. Yeah. So trying not to be a complete fangirl here because as we met many, many moons ago before either of our careers began, but had mad respect for you then, and then have just followed your trajectory since then. But would love for our listeners to just hear a little bit about where you grew up, how your background influenced your path into media. And then we'll talk about all the other good things in your life.
It's so interesting because I'm a Black girl from New Hampshire, and everybody's like,
New Hampshire. I didn't know there were Black people in New Hampshire.
Well, there's a lot now, but I'm 56 years old. So you can imagine when we went there in 1978 and got off the expressway and went to the McDonald's and walked in the door, and everybody put their food down and just stared and watched us walk in.
Wow.
I distinctly remember crying and running to the car. I was like, Mom, I can't eat in here. I'm not eating here. But it ended up being a wonderful experience. It was a great upbringing. We grew up in nature. We walked the paths and picked the mica off the rocks. I rode horses growing up.
The what off the where?
Mica.
Yeah.
I'm from
like
LA.
the little shiny stuff on the rocks. And
Oh, wow.
We'd walk trails for hours, picking berries. And so it's really beautiful growing up in nature. So that was very cool. I also was a big track person. So I was number one in the state. I was recruited. I went to Boston College on an NCAA scholarship. I ran Boston College. I chose Boston College because there was a young African-American female coach by the name of Karen Dobbs who was there, and she just brought warmth and comfort. And I said, if I'm going to be away from home and do this exciting thing, I'm going to do it with her. Never looked back. So BC amazing, communication major, got out of college. I moved to Atlanta with a cousin because I was trying to find a job, and I ended up working at CNN. So that was my first job out of college. 11 months after I got out of college, I got an internship, then a job. And then I was there for 2 years total, moved to Milwaukee because my parents left New Hampshire and went to Milwaukee. And when I went to visit, because I'm a hustler, I was like knocking on doors and met a bunch of people at this one TV station. And literally 3 months later, they called and said, do you want to have a producing job? Our programming producer quit. I was like, sure. I say yes to everything, honey. I got in my car, put the dog in the car, drove up to Milwaukee, moved in with my parents, took the job, and I had never produced a show a day in my life. I taught myself.
Candi, I'm going to stop you for a moment.
Yeah.
So how did you know? First of all, just the internal fortitude to go to the station. It's a different time then. And to present yourself. And then 3 months later, then when they're like, hey, do you want to do this? You were like, yeah. So talk about that internal self-talk that you have that said, yeah, I can do this.
Well, sadly, there's no discussion. It just kind of happens. Like I always say, I'm that chick that jumps off the building knowing a parachute is coming. And so I don't know. I instinctively just see opportunity and go after it. And there's not a lot of discussion. So for a lot of people, you know, I have a new company called Sistus Media, CIST, Sistus Media. And my co-founder, we laugh and say, I'm the gas and she's the brakes, you know, because I just go. And that's how I am in life. I just go. So I say yes to everything. I talk to everybody and I take advantage of any opportunity. I don't know where that came from or why I went up there and just went knocking on doors, but it worked. And it wasn't the intention. I wasn't looking for a job, but they called and asked. And, you know, listen, I got up there and I was like, oops, I don't know how to produce. I knew television generally.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, what your background.
Well, from CNN, I mean, I taught myself how to edit. I was working in the studio. Like I did all the things, but I wasn't an actual producer. But I taught myself how to produce. I was there for 2.5 years. I won an Emmy, my first Emmy, which I think is that one. And then I have a big one from The View.
By the way, so your first producing job, you won an Emmy within the first 2 years.
Yes.
That's, I mean, hey.
And that tells you you're doing the right thing. So you,
you know, so yeah, so I was there, and then we did a show with it was a Hearst station, and Oprah was on her stations, and they wanted to do a big special. So we were the closest market. I produced it. We go down to Chicago, and the two executives at the company were like, "We'll take that, and we'll do the meeting with Oprah. You wait out here."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh no." So what did I do? I went and talked to everybody. I was like, "What do you do? What do you do? Who are you? Who are you?" Da-da-da-da.
And this is at Harpo.
This is at Harpo. Like before the show was going to start, they were in there taking a meeting. I had produced the whole show. So I'm just like,
and you're talking to everybody else.
Yeah, well, they've been there. I was like, what do y'all do? What's happening? Tell me about this place. And they were like, listen, you should apply. Oprah's hiring. This was in 1995 when they kind of turned from, they were starting to go down that like conflict TV. And then she decided, nope, we're going to make a left. And so she was bringing in a bunch of new talent. So I applied. I was hired in 2 weeks. I was there from 1995 to 2011. Did the big finale show with Tyler Perry and all of the Morehouse men who put through college. We found there were 400 at the time. And I think we were able to get 300, like all but like maybe 20. And it was such a moving moment because she had no idea. And she was ugly crying. And each of them handed her like a flower and said, thank you. And they walked by. So that was beautiful.
What did you learn about leadership with your time at Harpo Productions?
You know, it's interesting. I always say the best lesson I learned, first of all, Harpo for a TV producer was like the D of television. So like I didn't need to go back to school to do anything. Working at Harpo literally gave me a PhD in television. I always say, like, Oprah used to say to us, like, what is your intention? No matter what the show was. So I remember we did the show, like, does my butt look big in these jeans? And she was like, well, what is the intention of the show? And so we were like, okay, the intention, I guess, is if it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it really is about how you feel on the inside. So we can do this exercise and have fun around, does my butt look big in these jeans? But the real intention and the message that came through at the end of the show was, at the end of the day, how do you feel on the inside? And how do you feel? And so I've taken that with me on other shows. I've used that to focus, you know, even moving when I was there, to get everybody on the same page. Here's our intention. And I've used that when I left Oprah and had a company, when I was the executive producer of The View. One of the other things I did at Oprah that I started there is I used to love reading Fast Company. So now I'm an entrepreneur. So it's ironic that I would read about that at the time. And
you said Fast Company?
Fast Company, the magazine. And there was a feature in there about a company that did standing meetings. And they would come in the morning and make everybody stand up. And I started doing standing meetings at Harpo. I was the only producer who did it. And at first they were so annoyed and they were just like, oh my God.
Why do I have to stand?
Stand up. They would come in and just be tired. And my thing is, I want the best out of you. I want energy. We had to come up with ideas. So every morning I would do a standing meeting and I'd be like, hello, 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 hello. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
That's kind of Oprah-esque, if I may say so.
And then I would ask a question just so people would get to know each other and open up. And I'd be like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? You know, what's the one thing you can't live without? What's the one thing you don't leave your... Like every day I'd ask a different question. And then when something big in the world happened, like 11, we were there together. You know, there were big things that happened in the world. That standing meeting would be, how are we all feeling?
Yes.
How are you impacted?
A check-in.
Yeah, the check-in. And so that became my thing at Harpo. And you could ask anybody who used to work there, did Candi Carter do standing meetings? They'd be like, oh my God, yes, they were so annoying. But then other teams come over. You know, if I had a fill-in person on my team, they'd be like, oh my God, we get to do a standing meeting, you know, so it'd be a thing. And I ended up taking that to The View. And so I did standing meetings at The View with my whole staff. It was 60, 70 people, right?
Wow.
So, and I think it's a great note for leaders because there was a lot of pushback and people didn't want to do it. And that him and han, and then the collective sigh, because it's easy to do that when other people are doing it. But I ignored that. And I think part of leadership is knowing what is going to be impactful for your team and doing it anyway. Because a lot of folks would cave to that and be like, okay, I'm going to do it. I guess that's dumb. No, it ain't dumb. That's your idea. No idea is a bad idea. And so I would say those were my two kind of leadership things that started at Harpo that carried with me.
And you took that, you said, to The View, and then also Tamron Hall.
Tamron, my own company. I don't do standing meetings with the company because we're all virtual. But
your standing meetings remind me and probably Sylvia of morning rounds. And we did morning rounds after a shift. It could be an all-night shift, 24-hour shift, didn't really matter. You're standing and you're presenting the patients that you've seen overnight. But I can see you're very intentional when you're standing versus being able to sit down and kind of hide, and you're standing, you're in front of everyone and more engaged. And so it sounds like bringing that engagement for all the people that you're leading.
Yes, and I'm a woman of a certain age, so I have to turn on the fan.
We are,
we understand
and we are
that
completely
exactly
in alignment with you. So you've taken all of that leadership, and now we'd love to hear. We know this past Juneteenth you launched shopredbag. How did you take the leap from media to online shopping with such a purpose? And if you tell our listeners about it.
Yeah, so I was the executive producer of The View for many years. And when I was there, and it's still on today, it's called View Your Deal. Or if you ever watch morning shows and you see them selling products in the morning, and you can go online and shop. I've been doing, look, we did Oprah's favorite things at Oprah.
Yes.
I did View Your Deal when I was the executive producer of The View. I did deals when I was the executive producer of Tamron Hall. And so the company that I brought in, I decided to basically leave daytime TV and get on the e-commerce side full time. And then after being at that company for a couple of years, I rolled off with another woman and we launched our company, Sistas Media. And so what Sistas Media does is we turn viewers into shoppers. We do that in movies, TV shows. We're working on a movie that Mary J. Blige is producing. We have the Sherry Shepherd Show. We're doing merch for the Sherry Shepherd Show.
So is that like product placement, or how is that different?
So the way that works is I go to the big media partner and I say, I'm going to build a store for you. I'm going to white label it so it looks like your store. And then you're going to promote it in your TV show or in your movie. And then we're going to do all the work in the background. We're going to get the brands that match your audience because we want your audience to be excited, right? We're working on a soap opera right now. So basically, I go to big media partners and I say, hey, I'm going to turn your viewers into shoppers. I'll do all the work in the background. Your only job is to promote the store. And so right now we have stores with BET, Roland Martin Unfiltered, Warner Brothers, Sherry Shepherd. We're launching a store with Tegna TV stations across the country.
Oh, wow.
And then we have lots of other things coming down the pike. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And we're really just expanding this idea throughout the country. Now, shopredbag. So that is my business. But while we were doing Shop with BET and the DEI rollbacks happened and the Target boycott happened, I was on social media and the brands were like, how are people going to find us? And what are we going to do with all this inventory? People were panicking. They were upset. And then people in general were outraged and like, how are we going to find them? So because we were already doing online stores, I said, and we already have hundreds of brands that we work with, I said, why don't we put together a platform so people can find these brands? We will make a Target alternative called shopredbag. Random title means nothing. And we've got all the essentials plus other things, and we're adding brands every single day. So shopredbag is a movement. It's not just a store, it's a movement. We are in a time where our money matters more than anybody can imagine. We are about to lose control over a lot of things, but we have not lost control over our wallet. And our wallet spoke to Target, and you see what happens.
The CEO is stepping down or being replaced or something. Yes.
That's right. Well, no, that was a Jedi mind trick. They just moved him to chairman of the board and then moved somebody else within the company over. So
but same mission remains the same.
That's why they're still being boycotted. But the bottom line is shopredbag. Basically, the way it works is they come in the store. You come in the store and you buy something and we send it directly to the brand. So the brand is essentially just getting lift from the store, and all the sales go directly to the brands. So it's something that people need to share, spread it. We have women-owned, Black-owned, veteran-owned, LGBTQIA+. And you can shop by category. If you're like, I want to shop intentional and I only want to shop women-owned brands, browse categories, women-owned brands.
Absolutely.
You can just shop Black-owned brands.
That's ingenious. I love that. Same.
Being able to navigate was easy. You felt like you were in one of your usual places where you go and buy stuff online. You know, it was eye-catching. It was easy to use. And I liked the idea of being able to say, oh, I want to shop solely with Black women or whatever your particular demographic is. So kudos to you.
How do you...
my entire Christmas list will be coming.
Beautiful candles and all the things.
Yes.
These are, look, the other thing about
all
these
the luxury items.
Yeah. But the thing about these brands is that the quality is better than the mass-produced items because these are diverse people. So there's one brand in there called Buttered that I love. I use it every single day. Is
that the shea butter?
No, well, that's really good too.
Okay.
And butter. So we have shea butter. We have the first natural alternative to Vaseline.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Nice.
Black-owned brand. Buttered, too, is an oil. So every day I put it on my skin, and I'm a dark-skinned girl. I put it on my legs and feet, no ash at the end of the day. And I kid you not, no ash.
Yes.
So that has become one of my favorite products. I think it's in vanilla mango flavor. The shea butter is amazing. I'm buying my bamboo toilet paper. My thing is that
yes, I saw that one.
Yep. I don't expect anybody to spend all their money on ShopRedBag. But if everybody spent a quarter of their monthly spend there, we will literally uplift diverse brands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, why not? I mean, to push back, why not spend if you can find everything that you need in this platform and you're wanting to, support small businesses, women-owned brands, Black-owned, LGBTQ. I mean, why not use this type and with you're shopping with intention as well, and reasonable prices. So I think that
prices are
kudos.
We're offering free shipping. ShopRedbag.com, ShopRedbag.com. We got to get a song. I need a jingle. You know how we have 1-800-EMPIRE and all the little local TV commercials, and you remember the jingle.
Somebody could come up with a jingle. Yeah,
I'm gonna put something online. And
there you go.
And do like a jingle. Come up with a jingle for ShopRedbag for the holidays. That would be amazing.
Definitely. And certainly you launched Juneteenth of this year, 2025. How has it been going?
It's been going great. As a matter of fact, it's funny, we got a post from an influencer by the name of the Woke Ginger. And
I follow him on Instagram. He's fantastic.
He's fantastic. He is the business. But let me tell you, that post has almost 800,000 views.
Oh, wow.
That just goes to show you how thirsty people are for it and how much they want it. And so we're literally growing a brand from the ground up with no resources. That's why I said it's a movement. And the only way it can be successful is if we all share and support together.
We'll love that.
Yeah.
Very good.
So y'all got to share it with your doctor communities, and it's all
100%.
I've already done. Yes. My cousins, everyone. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So outside of media and outside of your business, we know you're also a dedicated advocate for teens with special needs. And would love for you to tell us about We've Got Friends, how it love the idea, what I've read thus far, in terms of creating opportunities for inclusion and what kinds of transformations you've seen in teens who've actually participated in the organization.
Yeah, about 7 years ago. So I have a 22-year-old with special needs. He's like a 5-year-old, but he walks and talks. But he had brain damage at birth, so not autistic. And sweet as he wants to be, cute as he wants to be, but he didn't have any friends, And when they get in middle school, if you have children, when they're in middle school, they can kind of be dropped off at a movie. They can walk around town, with their group of friends.
Sure.
That's when our kids are at home and left out.
Yeah.
And so when we moved here, when I took over as the executive producer of The View, we moved here. We knew people, but the school he was going to was one a lot of these kids are also district out, meaning they don't go to schools in their neighborhoods, right? They go to a school specifically for kids with developmental and intellectual and developmental disabilities. But these kids are from all over the state. So he comes home and the people he sees all day don't live near him. So I went to my church and I said, hey, can I use the rectory? It looks nice little house. I said, can I just use this every week? I'm going to put flyers up at my son's school and see if some of the parents will bring some of the kids. And that's how it started. And it was like, I was picking up the pizza, I was cutting up the apples, I was getting games from, Five Below and the dollar store. And by Christmas, we had like 20 kids. And parents were like, oh my God, this is amazing. We never had anywhere to go. We were never invited to anything. They were isolated because they were at home.
Sure.
I let them do their birthday parties there because now they can actually have a birthday party with their friends. Right. So that's how it started. So now 7 years later, we've served thousands of people. I remember once we took 50 people to a Giants game. They had never been to a football game, a professional football game ever. It was amazing. So we just, the core of the core is we do 5 to 6 meetups a week, virtual. So we get kids from out of state. We do in-person groups throughout New Jersey so that they have a touch point every single week with their friends. And so we do a big back to school party, which I think is this weekend coming up. And then we do an out of school party. So it's fun. It's great. The kids love it.
So it's born out of your own need, but the intention behind it and
Absolutely.
just the benefits to so many people in your community. I mean, this sounds like such a novel program. Have you seen it perhaps, adopted in any other communities? Would you be...
You'd be surprised. I'm getting
open
called
to that?
California.
I would bet.
Can you help us start one? We got friends. At this point, I want to make it a really strong New Jersey organization. I feel like there's a lot of the state we haven't reached yet. But it's transformative for the whole family.
Yeah.
Well, I had a kid who used to come. First of all, I had a kid who stood across the lawn. 2 weeks later, he was in the middle of the lawn. Another week, he was at the front door, but not inside. Right. Then the next week, he's inside. But he would still come. Right. He's inside. Now he's meter and greeter. He used to sit with his headphones on, looking down everywhere. He would just peek up, look and see.
Yeah.
Now the kid, he is the first one in, last one out, chatty, talking, all the things.
That's beautiful.
I just say it's a very simple
idea
with a very big impact. So we've got friends, and we depend on fundraising 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to shift gears a little bit. Angela and I are always about travel, and in particular, we like beaches.
Nevis.
Yes. So how
ladies need to let me know when you're ready to go.
We were ready yesterday.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Let's do it.
But how does one become the tourism ambassador for Nevis? Please, where's the application for that? And then what's one fun fact about Nevis that everyone should know?
Well, first, I'm the diversity ambassador. So I met the premier through a friend a couple years ago, and we were actually talking about increasing the film and television presence there because that's my background.
Okay.
And when I went to visit, there were no African Americans anywhere. I was like, where are the Black folks from the U.S.? And they were like, they go to Antigua, they go to Jamaica, they just don't know about Nevis. And I said, oh my goodness, I have a massive network that would love to vacation here. And so very organically, I just started including them in big events and doing some giveaways, and it rolled into this ambassadorship. So it's been an incredible experience. The people of Nevis are the kindest, sweetest, most welcoming. I just love it. It's a warm place. You go there and they're like, welcome home. And, it's really sweet. What's one thing about Nevis? Most of the homes in Nevis have ocean views. I'm giving you several facts. It's a tiny island with only, I don't know how many people are on the island, but you can drive the whole thing in like 20 minutes. I'm going to sneeze.
Oh.
So God bless
very
you.
Tiny.
But you can drive the whole island, like literally the whole island in 20 minutes. There's a volcano in the middle of the island. So at any given point in the island, you can see the volcano with beautiful white clouds around it and lush green all the way down. And what I love the most is when you're in the water, you float. So you can just lay on your back and float. And when you're in the water, you see St. Kitts and you see another island. And then you look back at Nevis and you see the beautiful volcano. So I was in Mexico. I got in the ocean and it was just flat. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so rich and beautiful and lush and green.
And the culture,
Well, the beaches are beautiful. So yes, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it.
We have a close family friend who, the most beautiful spirit you'd come across, and he came over for Thanksgiving several Thanksgivings ago.
Yeah.
Loved the food, was eating, but he was just talking about his homeland and, St. Kitts and Nevis, yes. And so I was sold from that moment that, this was going to be.
Here is the biggest thing that you don't know about Nevis.
Okay.
The restaurants in Nevis rival 5-star restaurants in the U.S. The food is
amazing.
Phenomenal. Every restaurant, and they're in like how beautiful little homes and cute little places on the beach. But the food, the restaurants the chefs there are phenomenal.
Okay.
Very,
Any room
very
for
visible.
summits there?
What's that?
Any room for summits, conferences?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Literally, let's chat about that after.
Absolutely. Offline. Well, that's fantastic. I told you I was fangirling before, preparing for this interview. I don't understand how you have all the time, but everything you're doing, it just sounds so amazing. But
startup company, raising capital, all the things.
Yes.
It's a lot.
There's been
And
intention.
I'm an AKA. And I'm a Jack and Jill. I'm just like,
you're all the
and
things.
I'm sure you're all in on all those endeavors. That's incredible.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what advice would you go back to give your 22-year-old self? What would you tell her?
That's a very interesting question because people like me we're unique. Kind of unique in that we just go. And it makes a lot of people uncomfortable is what I've come to understand. It's a very interesting dynamic.
But they want you to go because
they want you to go.
Them. Yeah, right.
But then they see where they haven't gone when they look at you.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so I would and a lot of times it's the people closest to you.
Always.
And so the advice I would give my younger self is, with respect, just know that the people closest to you are the people most fearful. And those are the people that slow you down a lot of times. And so,
but I think they're afraid for you. When I think about my mom,
100%.
She wanted to make sure that I was safe and, that I could take care of myself and all of those things. So I think that made her fearful. And sometimes that was sort of communicated.
And you're not going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there are those, on the other hand, that cannot see your dream or your vision and perhaps are more envious because they can't see that for themselves.
A lot of it's all the above. And I've experienced it on many levels, and that would be my advice, because you get your feelings hurt when you realize that's what's happening. But at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It has everything to do with them. And so I think the advice to my younger self would be, and I actually did learn this at a younger age because I did Gary Zukav as an author that I produced on the Oprah show. And that was the first big life lesson I learned from his book, The Seat of the Soul, which was, if you see somebody and they're snarky towards you, it has nothing to do with you. Everything to do with the day they're having. And so if you can understand human nature and understand that anything outside of a normal reaction typically has very little to do with you. So same with people being fearful or snapping or telling you no, that's their fear. That's their anxiety. That's through their lens. So that shouldn't stop you from pursuing your dreams and the things that you want to do.
Yeah. I use that in terms of if somebody has done something hurtful, and just always a reminder, it's them, not me.
It's them, not you. They're hurting.
It's them, not me, to be respectful. Well, you wear so many hats, as we just talked: executive, wife, mom, advocate, founder. The list goes on and on. Can you tell us how you practice self-care and, make sure that you're always filling your own cup along the way?
I'm laughing. Hot yoga. I try to do a couple days a week, and I'm in the gym. Just trying to keep it tight and right. I'm 56, honey. It's like,
look great.
Listen, we're all.
Now, I read that, and you told us you were,
golf.
you ran track.
I play a lot of golf.
Yes, yeah. And have you, how long have you played golf?
Oh my God, since my 20s. Not well since my 20s, but when I moved to New Jersey, I started to really play seriously. So yeah, I haven't played much this year because of my new company and raising capital. Just being busy. But no, I'm a big golfer. I love to golf. I actually do an outing with all women, usually mostly all Black women. Every February we go to Turnberry. It's really fun outing. It's easy breezy. Sometimes we have like 15 or so women, and we have a ball.
Okay.
So if you're a golfer, you must come.
I am a golfer in the making in my mind. I actually went to a conference. I was at a conference this weekend, and there was a woman that has created a program. I think she's down in Miami called Powerhouse, PWR House, and they had a golf simulator out there, and but it was a community built to encourage women that are our age that may not have, or not necessarily, probably younger as well, but haven't played golf, but to make it a community environment, accepting to all, and is basically promoting the fun aspect of it as a community.
I can't tell you how many single Black women I've told play golf. Yeah. Where better to meet a man with some benefits? But
yes.
And I am not kidding.
The driving range.
Every time I'm on the golf course, dudes, hey, how you hitting them? Hey, how you doing? Come on now. That's what you sign up. Listen, all these fraternity golf outings. I'm like, these women in the U.S., they messing up. They're trying to be in the club. You need to be hitting the club.
On the golf course.
Yeah.
I need to be in the club. You need to be hitting the club.
Love that.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience about Shop Red Bag?
Yes. Listen, go to shopredbag.com and shop. Really, it is a movement. It's a movement. If you are in a sorority, Jack and Jill, Lynx, any of the social clubs, girlfriends, send a link to Shop Red Bag out and share it, because this is a time in this country. And we as people of color we think we're getting hit now with some of the stuff that's happening. Just wait. So we have the ability to keep our businesses strong and keep our businesses alive and keep our money in places where people care about us.
Right. Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Right? So nobody should be up in Target. But in addition to that, redirect those dollars to support us, women. I check a lot of boxes. Women, Black owned, my husband, my brother-in-law, my dad, veterans, all the things. My son has a disability. We have disability brands. So really important that we recommend brands to us.
Okay.
We will get them in the store. shopredbag.com. Share it.
Speaking of which, just in terms of recommending a brand to you, how would that happen? How would you like to see that?
And scroll to the bottom. Do you have a brand we should know about? We check it daily.
Beautiful.
And if we can do the deal with the brand, we get them in the store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. Will
Very
do.
Good.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. We cannot tell you how excited we were to have you on the show. We know you are obviously a very busy lady, but it sounds like everything that you do is with intention, and a good intention at that. And so we're grateful that you took the time to share with us today. And until we meet again, may you be well.
Thank you. Nice to meet both of you and see you again. But nice to do your podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We
look
forward
forward
to the next time.
Congratulations to you too.
Thank you very much.
You.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Angela, that was a fantastic episode with Candi Carter.
So great.
There were so many things that she left me with when I think about how she says yes to everything. But for me, it was about finding the opportunity and everything, and sometimes going to seek out that opportunity, creating it yourself, talking about being the diversity ambassador for Nevis.
Like, who does that? Who gets that?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
amazing.
But that also tells me and our listeners that that is something that is possible. So I'm going to add that to my vision board. I don't know where I will be the diversity ambassador for, but we can certainly come up with a list of places that are warm, inviting, and good for wellness.
You know we can. You know we
Yes.
can.
And
yeah.
then I want to make sure that we leave our listeners with Shop Red Bag. It is a movement. You know, you and I both have gone through the website, and there's so many products and things that we use in our everyday lives, whether we're talking toilet paper or skin creams, all sorts of things. So please, everyone, check out Shop Red Bag. Angela, what are you left with from our conversation with Candi Carter?
I think I'll just pick up where you left off. I was very moved by her because, again, going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the episode, intention, and she, talked about how she was kind of introduced to that thought process. But it clearly appears that everything that she does is guided by that intention. And the Shop Red Bag came from a need, and not everyone, everyone may not be able to resonate with what she felt that need, but I certainly can. When I felt as if I did not, agree with the way, Target went back on the DEI initiatives that were so, I think, important in terms
we
of
went from the black square being on everything into 2020, and then a short 5 years later, no, actually, we don't need that.
I felt the transition of going from not being able to find my products to, I can. My products for my babies, my kids, my hair are right there, and it's easy. So anyway, now knowing, okay, so now what do I do? Where do I go? That there's actually, an avenue, a source.
Shop Red Bag.
Shop Red Bag. So, love the idea and the brands that are represented there. And that was one. Again, I was moved by her intention to create an environment. We've got friends. Born out of a need for her child, for her son. And we have some really close friends that have two adult autistic boys. And I know from them what it's like to be somewhat isolated in terms of what they can do and what their life looks like. So just to have an avenue where these kids may be able to find some commonality and engage, I think is, wow, so needed. So I was very moved by that. Obviously, the ambassador, DEI ambassador to Nevis.
We're going to Nevis.
That's it. It's been on my bucket list since I talked to our friend Leon. He could not stop. I was about ready to book my trip when we finished Thanksgiving dinner. So I love that. And I think last we were talking, before the episode, I don't know that it necessarily came up directly in our conversation, but in terms of how our weeks have gone, and this week in particular, I really learned the value of knowing your worth. And so to our listeners, it may be to that one person that's listening, that it does not hurt to ask for what you're worth. And I think that in our environments, whether as women of color, we tend to devalue ourselves sometimes or are afraid to ask for what we're truly worth. And sometimes you'll just be surprised when you have the courage and do your investigations to know exactly what you are worth and ask for that. It oftentimes will come to fruition. And sometimes you have to decline what is offered to you because it doesn't meet what you're worth. And,
add 20% to whatever that number is.
There you go.
And then that gives you some room in which to negotiate it. I learned that. Yeah.
And so I think what reminded me in our conversation with Candi Carter is that she was knocking on those doors early on, and clearly she knew that she had something to offer. And so you always know that you're valued somewhere, but you might have to knock on several doors or interview with many different companies. But if you know your worth, don't settle. So, yeah. Anyway, I am full again. This has been a wonderful episode, and I'm so grateful to be here with you as always. And we're very thankful to our listeners who are out there. Hopefully, if something resonated with you, you'll share this episode with someone in your life. And certainly would love for you to share the shopredbag.com, as it is a great platform as we roll into the holidays and looking for our needs for ourselves and our families. And for Boss Sleep Podcast, if you would like to reach us, you can go to bossleap, LEAP, podcast.com. You can leave us a message there, words of encouragement. We love those, but definitely if you have any ideas. Exactly. And if you'll listen, like, and definitely subscribe on YouTube. And that's, again, Boss Leap Podcast at YouTube. And I think I've covered it all, Sylvia. So until we meet again, may you be well.
May you be well.
That's a wrap on another episode of Boss Leap. May this conversation enlighten your path toward personal growth and professional empowerment. For more thought-provoking and eye-opening discussions like this one, head to our website at bossleappodcast.com. Always remember to celebrate your wins and trust yourself. A positive mindset can push you out of your comfort zone and into far greater heights. Until next time, may you be well.
Before we go, there's one more thing the lawyers have asked us to include. You know, it's the legal language, and you know how doctors love lawyers. This podcast is presented only for educational and entertainment purposes. Although we are doctors, on this show, we are just your friends. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Understood? Awesome. We'll see you in the next episode.